From the midst of the Balboa family reunion, it's the IGN Digigods. Now, please welcome charter members of Team Edward, Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
Yes, we are charter members of Team Edward. Thanks to... Who sent that in?
Nicholas Gordon. Thanks, Nick.
Nicholas Gordon has sent a lot of good ones in. And you know, Mark, it's getting to be that time. We're going to need some new ones.
Wait, I'm sick.
Well, it's like you're not... You know what? The sky is blue. So...
How dare you?
I
took the day off work today.
Well, good for you. But you're doing this.
I am.
You didn't take the day off from the podcast.
I did not.
There we go.
I also made soup for myself, which you will not eat. Which you will not even try.
It's got bacon in it.
It's 3 mushroom and bacon soup. Cream of 3 mushroom soup with bacon in it.
That's great. It
That's
might as
so
well.
good.
It might as well be like cream of puppy soup.
It's so good. Really,
I'm
you
not,
really hate bacon that much?
No, I just don't eat bacon.
It's so good.
I just don't eat. I don't eat anything that doesn't have feathers. That doesn't have feathers. I stick with the feathered things, and not even all of those. But I do eat things, like pheasant. I love pheasant.
Pigs have feathers.
Pigs don't have feathers.
What if I took a pig?
That's a fine feathered pig.
What if I took a pig and taped feathers onto it and said, "Wait, I'm going to slaughter this pig right now. This pig, I'm going to slaughter it right now, and I will make bacon from this pig. Will you eat it because it has feathers?"
No. Turkey bacon, I'll eat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I almost made this recipe with turkey bacon, but I'm glad I didn't.
And by the way, my preferred, not that this has anything to do with DVDs.
Oh, yes,
as
it
per
does.
usual, but
Yes,
my preference for all kinds of bacon, but turkey bacon mainly, since that's the only thing I eat now, is that you've got to cook it slow and long until it gets crispy. When it has that real salty taste to it, where it's fragile, it almost breaks, it almost shatters when you drop it on the plate. That's how I like it.
So if I would have made this with turkey bacon, you would have tried it.
Sure.
You wouldn't. You're saying that.
No, I would have.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has cream? Do you cream?
The more cream, the better. I cream in soup, absolutely. Rock on.
Okay, fine.
A little bit of housekeeping then. We are going to be soliciting some new openings for the next round because we're going to run out in a couple of months.
Well, you know what? It seems like we're starting early, but by the time everyone gets their act together...
get your act together. You know the drill. You know how the openings work. It's from the hootsie, or IGN, Digigods, Wade Major, here they are. But you know the drill, the format. Listen to any show. It's obvious.
It doesn't change.
It doesn't change.
It hasn't changed in 5 years.
No, it hasn't. But go ahead and email those or anything else you have on your mind to gods@digigods.com. That is gods@digigods.com. And, we'll put them aside and we'll have another recording session with Bob, and because he's not really live here every week. And
he's not?
No. And we're also going to have some listener mail today. We got a giveaway today.
And we have a giveaway.
We have a really cool giveaway.
And
actually.
we also have a request. We had a
Yes,
request
we do.
to tell a story.
I will turn the table to you.
Oh, you tell the story.
Here's the gavel.
You have such a better memory than I do. Of the story.
Set it up.
Well, give me the email.
There we go.
Now, as you know, Stupid for Movies no longer exists. It is done. What if Mike wants to take Streaming Garage and relaunch it with 2 new people? That is his prerogative, and I hope it's 2 great people that you all will enjoy. I don't know if that'll happen, when it'll happen. I have no idea. I got nothing to do with it. I've washed my hands of it. And but again, we still have the podcast, as you can tell by the fact that you're listening to this. The podcast isn't going anywhere. So on Facebook, I had promised a longtime listener, whose name I'm going to destroy, not the Alexander part, the surname part. Berlica. I'm going for it. I'm putting Berlica out there.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm going to say Alexander Berlica. Sure, I'll go with that.
We apologize in advance. Anyway, on the Facebook page, I promised Alexander that I would tell or retell. Longtime listeners have heard this story, but it's been a couple of years. Retell the story of visiting our good friend Charles de Lazarica. Now, Charles de Lazarica, been visiting his old Burbank offices in the Deluxe building.
Yep.
Now,
and what a cool building that is. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's over near the airport, which is a horrible place to actually have to work, but a cool building.
Yeah, it's the Deluxe building, which is still there. And Charles isn't there anymore.
No.
And when we first hooked up with Charles, I think Charles might have emailed us and said he enjoyed the podcast. Is that
Well,
how it
yes,
went?
Charles is a longtime listener. I don't know how much he's able to listen anymore because he's crazy busy. He's got a big production
Hang on, wait.
company, and
I'm not stopping the recording for this. I'm gonna blow my nose through this podcast.
wow, so much to look forward to. It's a special moment.
Well, because
Let's pause and commemorate this special moment in the history of the Digigods podcast.
It also prompted me to make my delicious, although it has cream in it, which isn't good when you're sick. But
Yeah, okay.
three
Too
mushroom,
much phlegm.
3 mushroom and bacon soup.
Yeah, that's great. So anyway, Charles, longtime listener of the podcast, obviously very, very busy because he's producing a lot of special edition DVDs, and he's got a big operation going. He's got employees. He's making his own movie. So that's. But nonetheless, he took time out. He emailed us a number of times. He's been a really faithful friend, and we've gotten to know him fairly well. And he invited us down to the operation over there at the old Deluxe building. And, we expected, walk in some offices and sit down and talk to him and do a little interview. And it turned out to be much, much more, didn't it?
Yeah, you went in there and it's at that Deluxe building, and there's a whole lot of paraphernalia there, mostly Ridley Scott-related paraphernalia. In fact, I have a memory of an Alien pinball game. I don't know if you remember that.
Vaguely.
I do have a memory of this because Charles does all the Ridley Scott DVD and Blu-ray releases. He does all the extras. He's won plenty of awards for doing it. He's top of the heap in the industry in terms of DVD and Blu-ray extras. But he does all of Ridley Scott's films. So that was exciting. And so we went to interview him, and we noticed that there was a room that was part of the tour, because he was giving us the tour. And not everybody gets to go into this room, and not everybody knows that this room exists.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. No, I didn't either, and it's still there.
I didn't even tell you what it was.
Vinny, go on.
You are not even paying attention.
I am. No, go ahead. I'm just jumping the gun. I'm trying to accelerate the anticipation.
In the Deluxe building, there is a miniature, teeny-weeny Hard Rock Cafe.
Itty-bitty.
Exactly. Now, I can't remember the story because I'm old and I forgot. But I believe either the Hard Rock corporate offices were in that building or something was in that building that was related to the Hard Rock. And when the Hard Rock up and left, they kept that room. And the room, it's about, what is this, 600 square foot room, something like that, 1,000 square foot room?
Yeah, something like that.
You know what?
I'd almost say
my condo is 2,000 square feet. So is it bigger or smaller than my condo?
I'm gonna say that room is probably about 850 square feet, maybe a little less than 1,000.
It's
very intimate.
It's just a box, and it's got all the same signed guitars, and I believe it had a pool table.
And it's funny because if you go, I did a little bit of research online about all the Hard Rocks around the world. It's not listed.
It's not. I believe it is the only Hard Rock Cafe that is like a private Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah, it is.
And certain people actually do know about this, but most people do not. And we went in there, and it was super cool. And he said that now, from what I hear, they actually throw parties there. It's still there. And they throw parties there, and people who were lucky enough to go get to go. And it's interesting. It was a great little thing. It was a cool little look inside. Very private area of Deluxe.
Yep, I love it. It's cool.
Anyways,
it's still there. I don't know. They no longer have Charles no longer has his offices there, but it's still there.
It is still there, and they still have. And and from what I've heard, actually, I've heard that sometimes they record audio commentaries in that room.
Sweet.
I've heard. I don't know if that's true,
Maybe
but
we
I've
should
heard
do one
that.
there.
Huh?
We should go do one there.
No, we shouldn't.
All right. Well, we're going to have some listener mail later on in the show and a giveaway later in the show. But we're going to start off real quickly with some horror titles. Because it's Halloween's a few months away. You want to get started early, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why not? Rambach, Berlin Undead, is a title from Bloody Disgusting, which is it's a zombie film. It's one of these pretty much the whole zombie genre was reinvented with 28 Days Later. and now everything has to be all about disease and infection and the whole thing. So we've obviously had everything from 28 Months Later to The Horde, that horrible French film that just drives me absolutely crazy, to those Mexican films Wreck and Wreck 2, which of course are all kind of first-person video camera stuff. Anyway,
you know what movie I want to do?
What do you want to do?
I want to do a movie about a zombie mariachi band.
Why?
Like, you know when you go into a Mexican restaurant and
Yeah.
the mariachi band, like usually it's 2 or 3 people, and they
Yeah.
come to your table and play until you tell them to go the hell away.
Now they'll just
They'd
eat
be
you.
zombies.
They'd eat you.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Because it turns out that's how they eat. See, the whole idea is that zombies. Here's the thing. No, it's wait, hang on. It's very exciting. Zombies move very slowly. Right?
Yeah.
So zombies can't chase after humans. However, if you can somehow lure the humans to actually sit down and relax, you can attack them unawares. So what they do is the zombie mariachi band, when you go to the Mexican restaurant and you sit down and maybe you're in the middle of your first course, you're kind of relaxed, maybe you've had a drink, so you're a little bit tipsy, the zombie mariachi band walks up to you and says, I'll play a song for you. And then right when they play
That's
a song,
great.
you attack.
That's great.
Zombie mariachi band.
Well, Rambach, Berlin Undead, is it's a German-made film, so everybody's getting in on the zombie thing. France, Germany, Mexico. And it's basically the same thing. Guy shows up in Berlin, and, the zombies are biting people and eating people, and everything goes crazy. He's got pretty much kind of the same plot as The Horde, except without the North African criminals. Anyway, kind of a sort of related in some ways to a movie called Siege of the Dead, which is the original Rambach film. Rambach is a German zombie thing. And then we got a couple of After Dark originals. The Task, which is not as horrifying as it probably should be. These things are just they're all kind of moving in sort of a formulaic circle now in the wake of the Saw films, and the whole game concept, game as horror, is getting a little bit old. Slightly better is Scream of the Banshee, also an After Dark original. All of these are from Lionsgate. This one just has actually a much better cast. Anything that Lance Henriksen is in is just automatically going to be cool, even though he's become a straight-to-movie kind of freak.
You know what? He's he does stuff for $50,000.
Oh yeah, but he does. But he brings he brings something
cool.
cool to it. Yeah,
He played Bishop.
absolutely. That's right. And he was also in The Right Stuff.
Yeah.
Good break. He's the man. No, this is based on kind of Irish horror lore, and it's a monster movie. What can you say? It's got Lauren Holly in it too, who sort of vanished once she divorced Jim Carrey. Isn't that weird?
No.
I think it is. All right, and then want to blow through some TV real quick?
Wade, this is your favorite part of the show. Let's
What's
get it
the
over
favorite
with.
part?
All that British crap.
Yeah. Well, there's just a couple of British things here, and I'll
Okay.
let you. You love this junk. That's your favorite stuff. From Acorn Media, we got a couple of good Acorn releases here. Wired, which is a. You still blowing your nose, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Why did I
you
make a
don't-
soup with cream in it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, the soup would have been fine without the cream, but the thing is that, it has cream in it, and cream is good.
There you go. Well, Wired is pretty cool. This is classic British mystery. It's on the long side, but it stars Jodie Whittaker. You remember her in Venus with opposite Peter O'Toole?
Yes.
She was great.
God, that was a long time. Venus was good. He was nominated for an Oscar for that.
I know. Well, she's fully grown up now, and she's still great. She's just terrific. Anyway, so this is kind of an underworld, undercover cop mystery thing. It's kind of edgy and very well written. Slow, however, very slow. And then for all you Miss Marple fans, the Julia McKenzie Miss Marple line. How many old women have played Miss Marple? How many old women?
All of them.
From Angela Lansbury forward, like five. Every little old lady in England has been Miss Marple at some point.
Actually, I believe that Abe Vigoda is going to be dressed in drag to do the next Miss Marple
Probably.
series.
Did I tell you when I was in Manhattan and I watched Fiddler on the Roof this last weekend on Blu-ray again?
Really?
Yes.
It's good, right?
Well, Christy had never seen it. Never seen Fiddler on the Roof. So
yeah,
I
but
just
because
said,
it's too long. Right? She won't see a movie over an hour and 10 minutes or something.
No, I just think it was just, it was.
But she won't
it's
see a
from the
movie
70s.
over an hour and 20 minutes?
It's from the 70s. It's from the 70s.
Tell me her rule. What's her rule? She will not see a movie over 2 hours.
No, she will. She like My Fair
She's
Lady.
never seen The Godfather because she said she won't see a movie
She's
over...
seen The Godfather. She still hasn't seen Godfather 2. So I have to drag her to Godfather 2. It's all the 70s. She doesn't like the look. It's all, it's like beards and hippies and desaturated colors.
Yeah, as opposed to today, Sucker Punch.
Exactly. Well, anyway, Fiddler on the Roof, absolutely terrific. I don't know how we got onto that, but Julia McKenzie plays Miss Marple in these 4 Blu-ray mysteries. So the one obviously here that everybody's excited about is The Pale Horse, but yes, they're finally out on Blu-ray. And we get The Pale Horse, The Blue Geranium, The Secret of Chimneys, and The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side, otherwise known simply as just The Mirror Cracked. And pretty great. They look decent on Blu-ray. The obvious quality issue here is that they are made for television and were originally aired on Mystery here on PBS and didn't look so hot. So this is probably the best looking these things are ever going to be. So pretty cool. A lot of little bonus programs here, and it's fun. Good cast. Good acting. Good cast.
Wade, you know what else has good acting and a good cast?
Small Wonder?
Punky Brewster, best in season 3.
Close. Punky Brewster's like Small Wonder, except without the battery pack.
diodes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is the worst. Punky Brewster, Turn Your World Around, 10 episodes. This is just a repackage of 10 episodes from season 1. So
These are those Mill Creek TV flashback things.
This is actually Shout Factory. Shout did this.
Well, Shout and
Mill Creek.
It's you know what?
Well, Shout released the season set, I believe.
It's sort of like this. NBC sublicenses to Shout, who sublicenses to Mill Creek, I think.
Right.
I think that's how it works.
Well, now from the good folks in Mill Creek, we have 10 episodes from season 1. It's repackaged in a little thing called Turn Your World Around, which somehow winds up being a multi-disc set. I mean, really, they just crap this thing out. Best of season 3 has 10 episodes from the 3rd season of the show. And it's just, come on.
I know.
Stop talking about this.
That flashback series also, there's another one here, the best of season 3, Simon and Simon, 10
Yeah,
episodes.
Simon
I
and
am
Simon.
not going to play the theme again. I've done that too many times. It's no longer a funny joke. But you know what, Simon and Simon, it's fun, but just 10 random episodes from season 3, very strange.
They don't make detective shows like this anymore.
They sure don't.
Now it's all like procedural. It's all just self-serious.
Don't you miss the Magnum PI, Simon and Simon? Well, I mean, look, it's all Stephen J. Cannell and Glenn Larson stuff, but all the stuff that Cannell and Larson did in the 80s, they were like, from Rockford Files even in the 70s, Starsky and Hutch. That was an Aaron Spelling thing. It's like, wisecracking guys who joke.
I know.
I mean, look, Richard Belzer on Law and Order is a comedian. When was the last time he told a joke on that show?
Well, it's funny. Before Belzer did
That
comedian,
guy,
before he did that show, he did Homicide, which I actually liked a lot. I loved
it's
Homicide.
a good show.
But now they're all just too serious.
Way too serious. And also from the TV flashbacks thing, California, the best of California Dreams, 10 episodes from this show that just is unbelievable. How did this show ever even manage to catch anyone's attention? I mean, it literally came and went. It's so bizarre. It was just one of those horrible Saturday morning shows that tried to take advantage of the Saved by the Bell phenomenon, and it's just so bizarre. Anyway, 10 random episodes from that show, and middling quality. And a show that we were fond of growing up, Mark. I don't know about you, but
I was never a huge Ultraman fan. I mean, I guess it was kind of cool because he looked really funky. But you know what? I was really getting turned off to the Japanese shows because they had like these weird people from another country called Japan, and the dialogue didn't work because their lips weren't matching, and I didn't really get it. Although when he was Ultraman, I thought it was really cool because he had a cool mask.
And he would make that little X thing with his hands, and beams would shoot out.
Damn right.
The whole Ultraman phenomenon now has just gone crazy. There are like 7 different kinds of Ultramen. Ultraman Giga, Ultraman Tiga, Ultraman Porno, Ultraman Fatso.
Porno.
Ultraman Fatso, Ultraman, cross-dresser.
So if Jake and the Fat Man were redone as a
exactly.
Ultraman.
Yes.
Oh, too funny. All right, so this is Ultraman Season 1, Volume 2. This, of course, is based on Ultraman. No, you know what? I have to say, I think kids will get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
It's a little silly, but I think kids will get a kick out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, this is Japanese stuff, and it was created in the 60s. And, the original one was only like 39 episodes.
I know.
It was very brief run on Japanese television.
And yet became a phenomenon here.
That is true.
Everwood, the complete fourth season, includes never-before-seen alternate season 4 ending. Not that exciting. Always beware those alternate endings. If they were that exciting, they would have been the original ending. This show it's fine. I don't dislike it. It just wears on you a little while. I can't imagine 4 seasons of this being all that different from 1 season. But that being said, a lot of great actors in this thing who've since shown up in a lot of other TV shows. Treat Williams anchors it. You got Deborah Mooney and Emily Van. You're not good at it.
No, I'm going for it. Hang on.
You're going to look for a phonetic pronunciation online is what you're doing.
No,
You're cheating.
I'm not. Hang on. Wait.
Yeah. Okay, I'm waiting. Humdy-dumdy. Well, so meanwhile, while Mark is looking for a way to pronounce this.
No. I was looking because I can't read it off the back of the DVD package. It's too small. Okay.
Yes.
A Pikachong Wirasikathul.
Pretty close.
Now, Wirasikathul, I think, is right. Wirasikathul.
Wirasethakul or Wirasethakul, either way.
Wirasethakul.
Apachatpong Wirasethakul.
That's his name. Literally, his name is
all those Thai names.
Apachatpong Wirasikathul.
Yeah, all those Thai names.
But people call him...
It's Joe.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's not a joke. People call him Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They will introduce him as Joe. He's just known as Joe, and I think it's awesome.
Now, what I wonder is if you live in that part of the world, is that like is that name like John Smith to you?
No, they're all pretty unique over there.
No, but like if I was his neighbor, would I walk up to him and go, I cannot pronounce your name?
I don't know.
Or is that name like Joe Smith to us?
Maybe.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, here's what you get on the Blu-ray. Just got to get the Blu-ray, man. We're going to give away 3 of these. And send us, here's what you got to do. Send us an email with Joe in the subject line, just Joe, and include your name and your address. And we will randomly select 3 very, very lucky winners to receive the Blu-ray of Uncle Boonmi, who can recall his past lives. And as long as they get to us, dated on, as long as the email is dated no later than the 5th, you're good. So the 5th, make sure everything's dated by the 5th, and that's fine. August 5th. Here's what you get. You get the incredible movie, the beautifully photographed movie, which is really extraordinary. It's basically kind of almost a surrealistic, magical, realistic Thai ghost film about a guy who's reaching the end of his life, and it's just fantastic. It's just so beautiful. And a little bit like Wild Strawberries. A little bit of a ghost movie, but it's surreal, it's magical, it's just wonderful. It's an absolutely fantastic, one-of-a-kind film, almost impossible to describe, but you will see when you see it exactly why this won the Cannes Film Festival. It's great. It's totally unique. And then we also have a couple of films from Raro Video, who releases mostly really kind of obscure Italian stuff. This is a film that I had never heard of. They are claiming that it was referenced in Kill Bill Part 2. This is Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. And this is just totally bizarre. This is I don't know anybody in it. Ray Lovelock, Mark Perel. I don't know who these people are. And the director, Ruggero Deodato, basically an exploitation guy. It's one of these cop films. It's one of these generic 70s European cop films that is famous basically because it has this motorcycle chase in it, which is admittedly unbelievable. It's absolutely extraordinary. Apparently because they had absolutely no permits to do it. Apart from that, the movie itself isn't really that great. But it's a hell of a chase scene. It really is. Otherwise, just a really super ultra violent kind of a European cop film from the 70s. More interesting from Raro Video is La Rabbia, which is a fascinating film that is so timely right now. I swear, in the wake of, we don't talk about politics on this show, but in the wake of the debt crisis, this movie is like the one you want to show everybody. This is a fascinating kind of counterpoint. Crossfire collision of sensibilities. 2 parts to this film, each one a little bit under an hour, and it was made to kind of counterpoint the leftist and rightist sentiments in Italy in the 50s and 60s. Pasolini, the great filmmaker who was very, very left-wing, completely Marxist, he directed part 1, and then Giovanni Guareschi, who was a very, very well-known right-wing commentator and right-wing figure around the same time, does part 2. And it's fascinating. It's primarily centered around social and political circumstances in Italy in the 50s and 60s, but I swear this could be the United States today. It really could. Just as polarized.
Hi, Wade.
Great film. And last few foreign films. A couple of great French films from last year on Blu-ray here. Blu-ray DVD combo packs of Gods and Men and Winter in Wartime. Did you see either of these, Mark?
I saw Of Gods and Men.
Gods and Men got the grand prize last year at the Cannes Film Festival, almost beating Uncle Boonmee. Could have beaten Uncle Boonmee, but it didn't. It's a pretty great film. I learned to love monks in this movie. What'd you think?
It's terrific.
Yeah.
By the way, you know what else is terrific?
What is terrific?
I believe that at Comic-Con they announced that possibly Star Trek: The Next Generation on Blu-ray coming.
Oh, it's so overdue, right?
Yes.
Totally.
CBS is working on it.
Yeah.
Remastered sometime in 2012.
This is no, actually, it's terrific. Lambert Wilson is an actor who's totally come into his own. Lambert Wilson used to be, back in the 80s when I lived in France, he was like kind of the Tom Cruise of the day. He was a little bit of a hunk, and now that he's older, he's really taken these interesting parts. And this is loosely based on actual events about those. If you remember, in 1996, there were those monks that were kidnapped in Algeria. And this is kind of loosely based around the monks that lived there for a number of years, and it kind of tackles a lot of the religious conflicts of the day head on. And it's interesting because it's all in kind of a pre-9/11 environment, but in a 1990 circumstance when Algeria was just torn apart by religious strife. A beautiful film. And then there is another outstanding film, Outside the Law, otherwise known as Hors la Loi, the French title. Jeez, you are a mess, aren't you?
Wade.
You're a mess.
Don't stop the recording.
I'm not going to. This is a terrific film from Rachid Bouchareb, who is the Franco-Algerian filmmaker. I'm going to ignore you. I'm just going to ignore you. Franco-Algerian filmmaker who made the very, very good Days of Glory, which is kind of like Glory, except it's set during World War II, and it's about the North African Muslim and Arabic soldiers who fought for the French during World War II. This is kind of it's a companion film, a lot of the same cast, semi-sequel to it, not really a literal sequel, but it fits with it. It's a story of three brothers who are fighting for Algerian independence after World War II. So it kind of, in a way, sort of picks up where the other film left off. The fight for Algerian independence is a very ugly subject still to this day in France, but this is an epic film, beautifully made, incredibly well acted, a little bit formulaic because we've all seen those, brothers that go in different directions movies, right? Every brother kind of is an iconic representation of some social archetype somewhere in the world, but otherwise a very, very good film and a beautiful transfer on Blu-ray. So that's really, really first rate. And can't debate with that one. And then another great foreign film on Blu-ray is Winter in Wartime. We all think we've seen enough World War II films until you see another really good one. This is a rather interesting look at the Nazi occupation of Holland right around the end of World War II. And not a lot of, I always enjoy this particular take when you see it in a Dutch film, in a Belgian film, in a Danish film, because we get German films dealing with World War II, British, French, done to death. But those little countries that were occupied have very, very different experience. And Norwegian films, any of those smaller countries that were occupied by the Nazis in World War II have some very, very different stories that they tell. And this is a good one. It's about a 13-year-old boy who rescues a British paratrooper and as a result finds his way into the Dutch resistance. You know what? A lot of movies about resistance, but this is beautifully shot, really, really well written, very reverentially made, and you can't say that about a lot of Dutch movies these days because there just isn't that much money to go around for them. But that is also a Blu-ray DVD combo, just like Of Gods and Men. So bravo to the good people at Sony for releasing good films, really good foreign films, in Blu-ray and DVD combo packs. About damn time.
If I have a son, I'm going to name him Dutch.
All right, and now new releases. Mark, go.
Okay. Rio is a 3-disc set. We have a Blu-ray, a DVD, and a digital copy.
I don't know this movie. I know the Angry Birds game based.
Oh,
on
I love Angry Birds. I made you buy Angry Birds.
Angry Birds Rio. There's a whole separate Angry Birds game based around this.
Yes.
It's very strange.
By the way, Angry Birds, greatest game ever.
Yeah, it's addicting to an almost crack cocaine level.
You know what? I'd have to say, I didn't want to get any games for my iPad.
Yeah.
Because I wanted my iPad to be more about news and other,
You're hooked.
Intellectual pursuits. Well, of course, I had to get Angry Birds.
Of course you did.
And now I play it all the time on my iPad. Anyway, this is a gorgeous-looking film that I think is better than the Ice Age films, at least from a visual standpoint.
Yep.
And it's cute, it's funny. It did very well. I was kind of surprised, and it's got that cool, like the soundtrack is overseen by Sergio Mendes, so it's kind of like funky bossa nova sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of fun music and fun vibe to it. The story is exactly what these things always are. Just a bird is now trying to find himself as opposed to a boy or a girl or whatever, or a robot.
Yep.
And it's cute. It's cute. If nothing else, the whole Brazilian backdrop is at least different.
Right.
In terms of these animated films.
Yep.
A lot of times you're in New York, you're on Mars, you're on whatever.
I gauge that from the game.
Did you download the game?
Yeah, I got the game. I've gone through every level of every Angry Birds game ever made.
Have you really?
Absolutely, dude. I'm an addict.
I still haven't finished I still haven't finished the original Angry Birds game.
No, like 3 stars on every level of every game.
I don't. You know what?
Insane.
Okay, now answer a question for me.
Yes.
Because I don't know this.
What
did the stars signify?
Well, you have to reach a certain point level. Like if you only get 1 star, that means you haven't scored enough points. You haven't done it well enough.
We haven't done it well enough.
You haven't done the level well enough. It means that you've killed all the pigs or monkeys or whatever it is that you're doing, but you need to do it more destructively. You need to wreck more stuff.
So, but if I do wreck more stuff, what does that get me? Do
more
I
points.
Get more points?
Yeah, and then when you get 3 stars on every level, then that unlocks some little special golden egg deal.
So you've gotten 3 stars on every level of like.
Let me put it this way: everything that you can do in Angry Birds, I've done ever. And that has like a bonus level thing on it, it looks like. So I'm going to have to get that and download that bonus damn level thing. Oh, God.
Awesome.
Okay. Got a very weird movie here. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo starring Dax Shepard and directed by Dax Shepard and written by Dax Shepard. I don't know that Dax Shepard should really be a hyphenate auteur these days, Mark. What do you think?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't really like Dax Shepard, but I'll say this. He was very funny. I admit it. He was very funny in Idiocracy.
You know what? Dax Shepard's a very funny guy, and I actually liked him in Baby Mama. I thought he was outrageously funny in Baby Mama. He really is funny in that movie. But that being said, this is an odd movie. It's not a terrible film, but it's not as funny as it probably should be. It's a little too narcissistic. This is from Welgo, who usually does the martial arts stuff. Dax Shepard plays himself and decides to become a martial arts action star. And it's kind of, it should be funnier than it is, but a little too navel-gazing. Anyway, there's a lot of people who show up in here to kind of throw him a bone, just nicely. Tom Arnold and Bradley Cooper show up in here, and that's fine. But don't look at it unless you're a crazy Dax Shepard fan. But Blu-ray DVD combo, it's fine. Audio commentary with Dax Shepard and some of the others, deleted scenes.
Oh, Wade.
What?
What? Would you like me to talk about that?
Yeah, well, that's your part of your baseball thing, right?
Yes. We have to talk about these.
Yes, we will. Yes,
because I put them in the metadata.
Oh, did you already? We have no choice.
I already emailed you the metadata, so we have to talk about those films. Anyway, The Perfect Game. I love baseball, but I don't love The Perfect Game. Although, you know what? It's really corny, The Perfect Game, but I enjoyed that kind of Eisenhower era look, and it's got a mariachi score, and that's kind of fun.
It's well-intentioned, but flawed.
It's very well-intentioned, but flawed. It's about these Hispanic boys who are on a Sandlot baseball team. And, if you've gone through every single solitary baseball film ever, I guess you can go for this one. But, it's based on a true story, which is terrific.
Yeah, it's a great true story.
But it's just, for me, it's just a little too corny and a little too formulaic for it to really break out in a crowd. And the idea of seeing Cheech Marin play like a priest is just bizarre to me.
Spy Kids, the Spy Kids trilogy.
You know what? I really like Spy Kids too. I did. I admit it.
Oh, so you can tell them apart, can you?
I just remember seeing Spy Kids 2 on a plane.
Uh-huh.
And
well,
like
Spy Kids 1, 2, and 3 are all out finally on Blu-ray. Now, this is because, remember, these are Miramax films. The Miramax library was in limbo for the longest time, and all the A-list Miramax titles have been licensed to Lionsgate now that all of that is resolved. And I got to say, I still don't find these films very compelling. I think they're really irritating, and I think Rodriguez's reliance on green screen effects are just is so irritating. But
it was irritating in Lava Girl versus
it's just so irritating
Ultra
here.
Boy,
It's way too overdone. But that being said, forget about whether or not you love or hate the films. The Blu-rays, great transfers, and a lot of that is because there's so much digital material on here that it almost can't help but look good. But they could have screwed it up. They could have just said, we're the new Miramax, we're cheap, we just want to make some money off of stupid people who don't really expect much out of Blu-ray. But they did. They didn't do that. They really spent some time on this. So all three of these films, they have all of those gobs of extras that you've probably seen already before. Audio commentaries from Rodriguez and his 10-minute film school, and heaps of featurettes and behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, it's all all rather boilerplate, and most everybody has seen that stuff. But I'll give them credit. They did it right. And you also get digital copies on these, assuming that you want to watch Spy Kids on your phone, which some of your kids may actually probably do.
Yeah, that's
true.
Do it.
They may do it.
Also, don't forget, some of these digital copies also, I presume, maybe
iPad.
not, either iPad, or they also might work for the little TVs in the back of minivans.
Oh, yeah, true. Good point.
Right?
Yeah.
They're making a new Conan.
They've made it, and it comes out in a couple of weeks.
I don't understand.
Looks terrible.
It looks terrible.
And the original ain't that great.
No.
I enjoy it. I mean, I love it for the music more than anything.
At least the original, first of all, was directed by John Milius.
Yes.
Who's a very macho, beefy, militaristic. That guy owns it.
When Conan's mom is killed and the hair, the slow motion, the whole thing, it's great.
Max von Sydow's in it.
I know.
James
James Earl Jones is a snake.
So Conan the Barbarian is kind of a real movie.
Yeah, it is.
Now the sequel, Conan the Destroyer, is terrible. But they're both out on Blu-ray, and you know what? I do not find these two covers to be
almost identical.
Also poorly printed. That's not a very vibrant color.
I'm going to cut them some slack, and the transfers are middling. They could have done a better job on the transfers. Universal, I think, is kind of phoning it in some days here. But here's what I like about this. I think the audio is great. The lossless audio, man, that Basil Polidorus music for Conan is just great. It's one of the great scores of the last 50 years. And it's unfortunate it wasn't for a better movie, but it's a great piece of music, and you will never hear it as well as you hear it when you watch it on Blu-ray. So that you just got to do, man. It rocks.
I agree.
We're right here at the end of the show, so we're going to make mention of a couple of things. For people who are big fans of all their teen movies from the 80s, you know what? Better Off Dead, baby. Better Off Dead. John Cusack, hilarious movie. I'm thrilled to see it on Blu-ray. Savage Steve Holland didn't do much after this, but he wrote and directed a pretty great movie in Better Off Dead, which I saw. Do you know where I saw this?
In your pants?
I saw this. I didn't see this on a movie screen. I saw it right after it came out, but I saw it on VHS right after it was released in the movie theaters. Ask me how I did that.
How did you do that, Wade?
I saw it on the USS Enterprise.
On the naval ship.
The naval ship USS Enterprise, that's right, which I toured and got to know a bunch of the sailors when it was docked at Toulon, France, and we got to watch Better Off Dead, kicking with the U.S. sailors on the USS Enterprise. Yeah, because they get it all from the studios.
How well did you know these seamen?
Oh, you're a sick man. But
I
anyway,
am sick.
You know what? Again, not a great transfer. This is a Paramount CBS transfer, but you know what? Perfectly fine. The movie belongs on Blu-ray, so it now lives on Blu-ray. Watch Better Off Dead.
So Wade,
yes, sir.
So Wade, okay? Getting there. So Wade shows me the Blu-ray for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I'm like, I already have this Blu-ray.
Yep.
So I pull out my Blu-ray.
Yep.
And it's already come out on Blu-ray.
Oh, yes, but
with
this
the same extras.
This is the 25th anniversary re-release.
It's got the
It's
same.
a repackage.
It's got the same extras.
Yeah, it's no different. It's just 25th anniversary.
Don't buy this.
They just put a cardboard sleeve on it that has a big 25, and we rock and roll. All right, that's it, folks. So, Bueller, send us emails to gods@digigods.com with Joe in the subject line if you want that Blu-ray for Uncle Boonme, who can recall his past lives. Make sure it gets to us by the 5th, that the timestamp on the email is no later than the 5th, and we will see you next week.